Hi guys. So more on preparing for ayahuasca. So obviously ayahuasca is more intense preparation than some other plant medicines. So preparing before you go down to Peru or maybe have a ceremony elsewhere, you're going to do a 2-week detox essentially. So you're going to have no salt, no dairy, no sugar, and no sex, and all the requirements that any good quality retreat center and shaman will explain to you. No coffee. Coffee was a big problem for me. I had a massive headache on my way to Peru the very first time. Really severe detox. So I've cut down dramatically on coffee because of that, because I don't want to have that experience again. So that's one thing. Then psychologically, obviously, I think I've talked about that before, preparing yourself or having some kind of spiritual preparation and some kind of tools in your toolkit to focus your mind and stay calm and centered throughout Mother Aya's wonderful and wild, sometimes loving way of being. And so that's, preparation before you get there. Then when you get there, any good retreat center, any good shaman will go through what the process is going to be like. And sometimes I guess the most scary part is the fact that you may feel like you're dying, but it's not you, it's your ego. And it's a part of you that needs to die to be reborn freer. So preparation on that support, on that, mental, emotional, psychological level for yourself is really important. And I highly can't recommend it enough to prepare yourself. But then if you're spending the money on a retreat, I really believe that not only connecting in with other like-minded people to support each other, which is brilliant, but if you need that ongoing support for a little bit afterwards, it's worth it. Even if it's just one-on-one with one person, personal friend who's gone through it yourself. But if you can stretch to, making that a commitment afterwards, then it may be that you don't need to have more ayahuasca down the track, because a lot of times it's just not necessary, or it's not feasible, or for whatever reason. It is a matter of, like any therapy, doing the work. So even though they say like ayahuasca is 10 years of psychotherapy in one session, there is a component which is self work, working on the self, being consistent, being disciplined, being self-aware, and using the wisdom and the changes and building the momentum of those wisdom and changes in yourself when you get back into your old environment. So your old environment may be unchanged, and it may be that you need to move out of that environment. It may be that you need to adapt to that environment in a different way. It may be that you need to cull people or aspects of yourself that you've become familiar with, to unfamiliarize yourself to. And they're all parts of the integration process, because if you go back into the same habits, in the same environment, with the same people, it's much harder to carry out what is recommended by Mother Aya, by your soul, your higher self, by the process. And if you don't do that, then it's a waste of money, time and effort, and it's really pointless going into another experience until you've integrated what you've learned from the first experience. So anyway, generally speaking, that's the mental, emotional, psychological preparation is very important. Once you get there, you have your tools to help you. You have your intentions that you set prior to drinking and that you continue to refocus on during the experience. And afterwards, sharing the experience in group is really good and can benefit you, but all around you. But the first experience, the shamans talk about, it's opening up the energy centers, and a lot of it can be very physical. So you're purging, you're physically vomiting, you're going to the toilet a lot, you're feeling uncomfortable, you're learning to be comfortable in the discomfort. That's a big learning. And so surrendering and allowing, and that is a hard process. It's easy to say, not so easy to do. And so it's generally like a surgeon opening up your energetic center, Mother Aya and shamans looking at what needs to happen for you, for your intentions, for your best and highest good. The Icaros are a powerful way. The Icaros are vibration and their guidance from Mother Aya, and they generally initiate you beginning to purge and you beginning to shift and cleanse all your energy centers, your physical, mental, emotional, psychological, all those centers. That's one aspect of it. The second ceremony is generally then getting into the core issues and cleansing out that on a more intense level. And they say the third ceremony is for closing you up, but it depends obviously on the amount of ceremonies you have in a week or how long you're staying, whether it's 1, 2, or 3 or more, whatever prolonged sessions you have. But just, I heard a lot that, oh, I didn't have anything happen. I just, threw up all the time. Well, that's exactly what is needed. And that's exactly what you first may happen, because a lot of us have toxins and blockages in our energy centers, and we need to have a physical cleansing. And when you do purge, it's not just physical toxins from your physical body, they are from your emotional and your mental bodies, and even your soul body at times. So trusting that energetically that the shamans are working in conjunction with Mother Aya and the guidance, and the Icaros are a big part of that. They're very important because vibration, as we know, and frequency are very powerful, and these are specific songs channeled by Mother Aya to the shamans over many years that they've worked and studied plant medicine. So trusting that, number one, you've found the right center and the right shamans with great experience, because, as you become more light and free, you will also realize that we are living in a dual world, in duality, where we have light and dark. We talk about good and bad, black, white, up, down, sweet, sour, all the contrasts. And that means that there is darkness. That does not mean dark, scary experiences aren't necessary, or that they can be very, very powerful and very therapeutic, but they can also be a little bit scary. So like I said before, be prepared, but also be aware that the intention of the shaman, the intention of them working with the light and knowing that truth and trusting the retreat center is very important, because there are brujos, and it is a very real thing where they have negative, dark intentions, and they're not for your healing and they're not for your benefit. And identifying that when you're just utilizing the intellect alone and you're fear-based is not always an easy thing to identify. So the more research you do, and the more connection that you have, and the more so all of that, basically research. You can't overemphasize it, is going to help you. And like I said, there have generally ceremonies that open you up, then do the deep dive into the work, and then close you back up. And they may close you with a special song, Icaro, for you, depending on where you are. But all of that is so intense. It's such an intense time of work. And it feels like, well, that's it. Is it job done? I can move back into my life. But no, I really believe the integration process is then you're working with the universe, you're working with the higher realms, you're working with energy, you're connecting to your intuition much more powerfully. So it's important that you then, when you go back home, listen to that intuition, listen to that guidance. If you need help with that, seek that help, whether it be a meditation group or whatever is right for you. And know that life then sends you the wrong boyfriend, girlfriend, the wrong job, or the family drama that you have to set boundaries on. It creates, an opportunity. Life creates an opportunity. We're all connected for you to show that you have learned, that you have changed, that you have shifted into a new way of being and living and joyfully, you know, being the best version of you that you went to be there, essentially. Because no matter what your intention, it's always going to lead back to you living a loving, beautiful, joy-filled life. And that's my wish for you. Thank you so much for listening.